Hey guys, what is going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Today we ended up getting Elite 1 in Futchamps 35 and 5 with the last squad review team that we did, which is pretty decent. I'm very happy that we got it. I was already happy with getting Elite 2 with it, but getting 35 wins with it was definitely very nice. I changed a lot of things with the team and tactics-wise right when I started Futchamps, like the very moment that I started off with it. I started with a 4-1-2-2, and then I switched to a 4-2-3-1. And we're going to get into why I did all that and the tactics and instructions and formation that I was using for the 40 games that I played for Futchamps. So this is the same team that you guys saw before. This is the team that has all the same players that I had in that squad review. Essentially, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same thing. The Inform Tolisso, Roberto Firmino were definitely the players that were in the team. So if you guys didn't know, the way that I started off this team in-game, right, was with the 4-3-2-1. And again, the thing about this formation that's good is that if you want to use a 4-1-2-2 bracket 2 or a 4-2-3-1 wide or 4-2-3-1 narrow, you can do that because the way that the players are in the team, you can put Roberto Firmino as one of the attackers as well as the top 3 attackers, so you don't have to make any subs, but you could just switch to whatever formation you want. But, so as you guys know, when I used this formation, what I actually ended up doing with this formation was I did the formation to a 4-1-2-2. So when I switched to the 4-1-2-2, which was this one right here, as you guys know, I would switch Tolisso here to the right side, Firmino here to the left side, Martial as the left striker, Gabriel Jesus as the right striker, if I can do it. And I use Bakayoko as a CDM. So this is how I set up the team in game. The way that I set up the instructions were very particular to the situation. So normally it would be like stay back while attacking for the fullbacks. CDM was always stay back while attacking. Situationally, I would use the center mids to either stay back while attacking, or I would put them to balanced, depending on the situation again, right? Whether I want them to be more attacking or more defensive oriented, which didn't make a difference, and I'll get back into that. And then on the strikers, I would put Martial to get behind, press the back line, and then Gabriel Jesus, I would switch between stay forward and balanced because it depends on the situation of the game. I wouldn't touch Gabriel Jesus, he would just be balanced because Gabriel Jesus isn't the type of player that can go body to body against someone. So when he's pressing the back line, you know, he's not very physical. So I had to take that off of him. And he played a lot better when he was playing a free roam type of instruction, right? So this is the formation that I was using, right? Literally, guys, after the first game, not even after the first game, during the first game, right? I scrapped this formation entirely. The reason why I scrapped this formation entirely is because people counterattacked against it so much, and it wasn't worth it for the attacking aspect. I think this formation would be worth it for the attacking aspect if I had better players. Like if I had like the Ruud Hullits and the Laurent Blancs or Patrick Vieira's or whatever in the midfield, and then like a good attacking lineup, maybe I'd like the formation more. But I think that using this formation, I was so prone to counterattacks. People were exploiting the sides like crazy. Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This formation played like absolute garbage when I was using it. In the first game, I was like, wow, I'm really not going to enjoy Futchamps this weekend because I was using this formation. So I was like, no, something needs to change. So in game, I actually ended up switching to the I think it's this one right here, so the 4-2-3-1. The reason why the 4-1-2-2 bracket 2 didn't work is because of counterattacks. You have the CDM, who's medium, right? So it's not the best thing to have. He's the only one that actually stays back. Even if you put stay back while attacking on stay in the edge of the box, you don't attack as much, right? Like, you don't have attacking presence at all, right? So the formation itself just didn't work for me. People were exploiting the sides like crazy because here's the thing about a 4-1-2-2, right? Sometimes what happens is that your fullbacks will, like if someone is attacking against you, your fullbacks will move to the middle, right? If your fullbacks move to the middle, that means that someone has the sides that they can easily exploit. Since you have a left center mid, a right center mid, and a CDM, you don't have anybody to go and block that side. If you push a left center mid out to the sides, sometimes your fullbacks will occupy a little bit of that space when you're gone because you have your tactics, you have your your custom tactics to cover, right, for the defensive line, which is what I have right here. These tactics were not used for the 4-1-2 and 2, by the way, so we'll get into this. So yeah, the formation just didn't work for me. It wasn't worth it attacking wise. The spacing between the players wasn't good, so I switched to the 4-2-3-1. And honestly, guys, it changed everything. Now, the team that we're using isn't the greatest. It's a very mediocre team in comparison to the squads that some people have nowadays. But it can do the work, right? It can definitely do the work. The thing about this team that made it so much better was so many different concepts, right? So the instructions that I used on this team was stay back while attacking for the fullbacks. On the CDMs, also stay back while attacking. On the right mid and left mid, I put to come back in defense, come back in defense. The striker I didn't touch, but the cam, I told him to stay on the edge of the box for the cross. Because when a cross came in, I didn't want him to go inside because I never crossed the ball. So it was incredibly pointless for me to tell the player to get inside the box, right? So I told my Firmino to stay on the edge of the box. So that way, when I'm pushing with the left mid and right mid on the sides, I can cut back inside and pass it to someone like Roberto Firmino. And it worked out so well because Martial's on balance. I don't touch Martial, right? So Martial just moved around freely as much as he wanted. This team, for the price that you're paying for, honestly plays really nicely. There's a lot of concepts that are definitely missing for the meta concept of Futchamps. Like the players, there's a lot of wrong in the team, but again, for the price that you're paying for, it's a pretty decent squad. So with this formation, the reason why I use the instructions the way I do is because of my playstyle, right? So I realized that with my playstyle that I'm particularly I'm a better defender than I am an attacker. So when I concede off of counterattacks, I really, really disliked it because I never felt like a counterattack was a skill. I just felt like a counterattack was a counterattack because you're lucky that players are not in their positions. And that's what was happening with the 4-1-2 and 2. When I switched to the 4-2-3-1, I was getting countered less, right? Because, you know, people play super defensive nowadays. I was getting countered less because I would always have at least Bakayoko back there because Soliso's high medium. So sometimes he may push up from time to time, which isn't bad, by the way, so we'll get into that again. But yeah, the 4-2-3-1 avoided that a little bit. Again, with the fullback situation of the 4-1-2 and 2, if your fullbacks push inside into the middle and try to occupy that CDM spot, your right mid and your left mid will come back in defense. So even if your fullback pushes into the middle, your other player on your right mid and left mid side will come back and occupy that space. Now again, I definitely need better players in those positions because Willian and Gabriel Jesus have zero physical presence, which is incredibly bad to have if you're going to be a left mid and right mid because, you know, the 50-50s in the air when you cross the ball, in which I can never do. I never cross the ball with this team. I only do it sometimes when I know that the cross is definitely worth doing, but even when it's worth doing, these guys cannot win the ball in the air. Like they just can't do it. So in regards to this team, having the right mids and left mids come back in defense allow me to not worry about the fullbacks overcommitting all the time because they occupy that space. The CDM staying back while attacking, I feel like, is a typical thing. Now, the instructions that I'm using, and I taught you guys this in the custom tactics video, everything, and this word is perfect because people get really triggered when I use this word, but everything contradicts each other, right? Your custom tactics contradict your instructions, also contradicting your work rates. So with the custom tactics, as you guys know, my custom tactics before, I believe, were 70 speed, 70 passing, 60 shooting, maybe 25 crossing, and then my pressure and aggression was lower. Here's the thing, right? With the custom tactics that I always explain to people, you can use someone else's custom tactics, right? And it may work for you. If it does, that's awesome. But most of the times that you play FIFA, you need to figure out what you like the most in this game. That's the most important thing. A lot of different concepts that just did not work for me. Having the speed higher was a stupid thing to do in the first place because my buildup is not fast. It's very slow. And I don't do that purposely. My gameplay has always been like that. I play like, I would consider my gameplay very proper football oriented. In the next videos, I'll show you guys my Futchamps games. Like, you guys are going to see the type of goals I score. It's not, you'll barely ever see overpowered mechanics. It's just really good passing plays that I usually go for, because that's how I have fun in FIFA, is making those passing plays and scoring those opportunities, right? But in regards to the tactics, like, I would even consider putting the speed lower, but I think 60 is a good balance for me. 30 passing is good because, again, I'm a slow build-up player, so it's good to have that. Passing on 50 is good because the 4-2-3-1, the spacing between the players is quite decent, so putting it on 50 is very nice. Organized was single-handedly, or is single-handedly, the most important thing to use for the 4-2-3-1, because when everyone is in their position they're supposed to be and people aren't running around like headless chickens, it just works out really well for me. So I'll tell you guys what kind of contradicts what. So the reason why I put 25 crossing is, again, because I'm not going to cross the ball that often. But the players will sometimes go inside the box. Sometimes. It's very situational. Like, if my fullback gets in behind the play, you'll notice that sometimes the attackers are not inside the box for me to lay it off. But where they do end up being is they end up being on the inside of the 18-yard box, but just inside. So I can actually lay a ball off behind me, right, in order for me to take a one-time shot. But they won't be right next to the net. So you have to take that into consideration. Again, this is completely down to my playstyle. I don't care about having that. So having 25 crossing is perfect for me. Now, the crossing and the shooting, they go hand in hand with each other. So if you put the shooting higher, that means that your players will be more positioned in places where they take more shots. Essentially, they'll be more positioned where they take long shots. Long shots are outside of the box, right? So these two, putting the shooting at 55 is a good balance for me, because sometimes they go inside the box, but then sometimes they, more often than not, they more stay on the edge of the box, and then the striker does his bidding in the striker area, which is great, right? Also, with the instructions that I have in the Roberto Firmino, where I tell him to stay on the edge of the box while the cross is coming in, is beautiful. Like I said, when the right mid and the left mid cut inside, it's very nice to have Alaba chill right next to him, because he stay back while attacking, right? So I can pass back to Alaba, and then Firmino or Tolisso will be around that area for me to pass the ball off to them. So it creates a very good balance for the team. Now, the thing about this team, or this formation, right, is that attacking-wise, you have to create your own play, which for me personally is not a problem. My huge thing with FIFA is to not concede stupid goals, right? And I think conceding a counterattack goal is, for me, considered stupid. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. Using the 4-2-3-1 has definitely done that. Switching to organize is the most important thing for the 4-2-3-1. And in all honesty, maybe the 4-1-2-2 would play better for me if I switched to organize, but I felt like attacking-wise, like, I just didn't like it, and defending-wise, I dreadfully hated it, right? The reason why you see my pressure and aggression higher than normally, right? So I have 65 pressure, 60 aggression. The reason why you see that, right, is because I want the defensive line of my back four to be almost balanced with my two CDMs, right? So if the two CDMs are stay back while attacking, and I have 25 crossing and 55 shooting while being organized, the back four will be spaced out very nicely between them and the two CDMs. Now, in all honesty, I need better CDMs, because the high medium and the medium are not ideal work rates. If it was medium high, that's when you guys would see the true balance of using this type of pressure and aggression with a 4-2-3-1 while having CDMs that stay back while attacking, while having your crossing 25 and your shooting 55, right? So I put the pressure and aggression higher simply because I want to make the spacing between the defenders and the midfielders better. If I put the pressure and aggression lower for this formation, that means you're leaving a bigger gap between the two CDMs and the left mids and right mids. If you do that, people have more space to work with in the middle. They have this huge gap that they can work with, right? And you don't want people to be able to exploit that space easily. So I put the pressure and aggression higher. It's worked out really well for me. The only problem, and this is just the thing with defensive tactics nowadays, right? Everything is, it's so hard to get them perfect. The only problem with those tactics is that I've noticed one thing, and that's my fullbacks going higher than they should go, right? They always overcommit. And this isn't because I'm pressing second man press. They literally do it by themselves. If you guys are watching my streams, sometimes I had my Alaba or my Valencia overcommit into the middle, and I never press second man press. But the aggression and the pressure needs to both be high for it to be balanced. You can't just have high pressure and then low aggression. You can, but your team's gonna feel really, really weird, right? The spacing between them is gonna feel really awkward. So, you know, if the fullbacks push out, is it annoying? Yes, but I compensate a little bit for it in other defensive aspects, so it definitely works out. So yeah, that's the tactics that I switched before. As you guys know, at the 4-1-2-2, I was using around 40-something pressure, 40-something aggression. Everything was just wrong, stream. It wasn't fitting my playstyle. Switching the custom tactics to this has changed my gameplay along with the instructions. Now, in terms of upgrades that I'd love to make to the team, there's a lot, man. There's so much that needs to be upgraded in this team, man. I need to get David De Gea so Bailly can be on full chemistry. I honestly kind of want to change from Boateng because I don't know, man. Boateng is good, but the turns is too tankish, man. Like the 72 acceleration is noticeable for his card, right? It's not bad. It's not like terrible, but like the extra 3 or 4 on buy, I don't know, man. It's so many different things, man. Boateng, I don't know how to explain it. It's like he doesn't turn quick enough. You know what I'm saying? But he is still a very good center back. But would I want to upgrade from him? Absolutely, man. I hope to get like because we recently switched to the PlayStation 4. Now we're in February, so hopefully after time of playing Futchamps, we'll be able to get better players. But there's so many improvements that need to be made on the squad. For Bakayoko, I need to get Patrick Vieira, Laurent Blanc. His pace and his physical presence is not good enough against these guys that have all these icons and team of the years, man. They just absolutely bully him. Is he really good? Yeah, he's freaking awesome. He's probably the best CDM in the game in terms of like a player that's like super affordable and the quality that he gives you. But dude, it was so bad because like running back with him with 73 pace is not good enough, man. I need someone like Laurent Blanc to be able to run back and have the medium high work rates. I need the medium high work rates. It's a must. Tolisso actually played really well. I would actually say that the informed Tolisso and the Firmino cards were the two most standout performers in my team. Now, that being said, the only problem with Firmino that's incredibly noticeable when you're playing Futchamps is incredibly meta-oriented, right? Roberto Firmino just doesn't have the pace, you know? He just doesn't have the pace to match with these guys. I was telling my stream when I was playing with this team, I was like, guys, I wish I had like Patrick Vieira, Laurent Blanc, Ruud Gullit, because you would have physical presence, defensive presence, good with shooting, passing. Like I think Ruud Gullit as a central cam would change my life forever. Even if I were to get like a Cam Ronaldinho card or a Del Piero card or someone that has pace dribbling with the shooting and passing concept, it would be incredible. But Roberto Firmino, guys, was a lot of fun to use. I really, really enjoyed using him. But when I faced those guys that had those crazy meta teams, the pace was very, very noticeable. You need the pace along with the shooting, passing, dribbling, and physical like these icons have, right? Like if you have that Ruud Gullit that has an 88 pace, high medium work rates, 5-star weak foot, like just the concepts would blow my mind. High finishing with high composure. Roberto Firmino's finishing was actually fantastic. Only problem with him is his composure is 80, and it was noticeable at times. It's not in the high 80s, so it was definitely noticeable. But he was definitely a really good card to use. Inform Willian, man. I like Willian, but Willian has zero physical presence. He just got outbodied every single time. Same thing, exact same thing with Gabriel Jesus. I need to get players, again, need the physical, the 4-star, 4-star. Just, I need those players in those positions, right? If I have, like, even, like, the icons, like Thierry Henry and stuff, just to be able to run like gods coming back and going forward, it would... my gameplay would be revolutionized. Good finishing, physical presence, winning 50-50s in the air. I can't cross with this team. I was mentioning this earlier. I can't cross with them. If I'm on the sides, It's impossible for me to cross with this team because they're not going to win a 50-50 in the air at all. Because it's not even 50-50. It's more like 75 or 80 to 20 or 25 when it comes to these guys. Roberto Firmino can do it because, you know, Roberto Firmino has 5'11" height along with 84 jumping. But I don't know if when I'm crossing the ball and if Roberto Firmino is going to be in there. I actually scored a goal like that against someone where I think it was 3-2 when I ended up scoring because the guy pushed out his goalkeeper and I just crossed it to Firmino and he headed the ball into the back of the net like a god. Martial was really good. Switching Martial Gabriel Jesus was a really important thing for me to do because Martial actually has physical. If I had Gabriel Jesus play as a striker, he would get outbodied every single time. So there's so many improvements that I need to make in the squad. So many things. Again, with Martial, the shooting, not consistent. Is he a good player? Yes, but his shooting isn't consistent. Need to get the Ronaldos and stuff, man. It needs to happen. I feel like, honestly, this is because I'm a streamer, guys. Honestly, guys, if I had a better squad, I honestly could get 40 0s. I do 100% believe in myself to get 40 0s if I had a better squad because there's so many concepts that I would be able to do if I just had a better team. But I do blame myself for that because I started this year on the Xbox, which is the worst mistake I ever did because I hate the gameplay on that console. PlayStation gameplay has definitely been better. I played during the daytime for Futchamps for PlayStation, and my gameplay, even when I streamed and everything, it didn't feel that bad. The only thing that thoroughly pisses me off in FIFA is the 1v1s. I hate the 1v1s with the deepest passion because you can create the most beautiful plays and these goalies are just so overpowered from up close because of that stupid leg save that it just bothers me to the core. The only reason why it bothers me is because there's so many random goals that people score in this game. EA needs to nerf that near post corner. You guys know that I wouldn't do a tutorial on that shit because it's so stupid. You can't even switch to a guy quick enough on the near post to defend against it. And even if you switch to a guy near post, they still can't defend against it. It was really bad, man. I lost to one guy that scored like a bunch. He took a shot, lands right back to his feet, scores it. Scores a near post corner, scores a far post cross. Like it was really bad at times, but again, guys, I need the physical presence in the team. I need people to win 50-50s in the air. I need to be able to cross the ball, man, because there's so many times where, like, there were certain situations where I'm like, wow, if I was able to cross the ball in this situation, I would have actually won this header. Like, there was one opportunity with Gabriel Jesus where I crossed the ball to him because he was alone, and he just completely fluffed it because he's too short and he doesn't have the heading capabilities. There's a lot of different concepts, but I swear, dudes, switching to the 4-2-3-1 changed everything for me for Futchamps wise. If I stuck with the 4-1-2-2, I wasn't going to enjoy this weekend because it's just not a good formation to use in competitive play, in my honest opinion. Unless you have better players, it just doesn't really work for me. So those are the instructions and tactics that I use. I don't think I'm really missing out on anything. I got the custom tactics, the formation, the instructions for the formation I didn't like, formation I did like. So I think we can definitely go from there. I was thinking of doing analysis videos for my Futchamps game. So if you guys wanted to see that, I can definitely consider doing that as well. Because I know people like to see the analysis video. So what I was thinking was doing like a video where I review 10 of my games each time, and I just review how I attacked and how I defended against each person that I played against. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, because I recorded every single game, because as you guys know, I stream all the games. I recorded all the games. I hope I didn't forget to record most games. I should be able to have all of them. So yeah, so if you guys want to see a video like that, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. I was considering doing that. I was talking to my stream about that the other day, about doing that. So yeah. But that's pretty much going to do it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the video today. Again, using the 4-2-3-1 definitely changed everything for me, FIFA related wise. The team just moved around better for me. So I definitely enjoyed this better. But if you guys did enjoy the video, please drop a thumbs up on it, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.